Hi, this is the History of Israel podcast, an Each My Own Beat podcast. Over the coming weeks, months, and years, we'll be discussing the history of Israel. This is not a podcast to say which side is right, which side is wrong. It's not a podcast to talk about the war which is happening in Palestine. It's just simply the history of Israel.
This is episode 8 of the History of Israel podcast, the Neolithic period. Pre-pottery and pottery Neolithic. The Neolithic is traditionally divided into pre-pottery and pottery, late Neolithic phases. Pre-pottery Neolithic, a development from an earlier Natufian cultures of the area. This is the time of the Neolithic Revolution and the development of the agricultural economies in the Near East, and the region first known as megaliths, as also known as the Earth's oldest known megalith, other than the Gobekli tribe, which is the northern Levant and is from an unknown culture, with a burial chamber and tracking of suns of other stars. In addition, the Levant of the Neolithic and later in the Chalcolithic was involved in large scale for far-reaching trade. The Chalcolithic period. That trade at an oppressive scale covering large distances continuing during the Chalcolithic from 4500 to 3300 BC. Obsidian found in the Chalcolithic levels of the Galat. Israel have their origins traced via elemental analysis in 3 sources in the southern Anatolia. Hotamis Dag, or Gorlo Dag, as far east as Nurmut Dag, 500 kilometers or 310 miles east of the other 2 sources. This is an indicative of very large trade circle reaching as far as the northern Fertile Crescent at these 3 Anatolian sites. The Gusaloian period created the phases of the Mediterranean economy which has characterized the area ever since. A Chalcolithic period culture, the Gasulian economy was mixed and agricultural systems consisting of extensive cultivation of grains, wheat and barley, extensive horticulture of vegetable crops, and commercial production of vines and olives, and a combination of transhumance and nomadic pastoralism. The Gasulian culture, according to Juris Zarins, developed out of the earlier Muhatan phase of what he calls the Circum-Arabian nomadic pastoral complex, probably associated with the first appearance of Semites in the area.
This has been the History of Israel podcast. Check back every Wednesday for new episodes. We're available on Apple, iTunes, Google Podcasts, as well as Spotify. We also have each episode streaming on YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. We're available on eattomyownbeat.com as well as the History of Israel podcast on Facebook.